All right, we have an urgent security alert that you really need to hear, especially if you use an Android TV or a Fire TV device. We're going to break down a pretty critical issue that has hit a very, very popular app.
So, let me ask you, is that app SmartTube? If the answer is yes, well, your device might have been exposed to malware. We're going to walk you through exactly what happened, what the real risks are, and most importantly, how to make sure you're safe.
So this alert came straight from the source, the developer of SmartTube. They announced that official versions of the app, the ones you get directly from the project's GitHub page, were accidentally released with malware packed inside. And this is a really, really important detail. This wasn't some impersonator or a fake website trying to trick you. The infection happened right at the source, on the developer's own machine that they used to build the app. That's how this nasty stuff got into the official releases.
So how on earth does something like this even happen? Well, it's a textbook and, frankly, a pretty worrying example of something called a software supply chain attack. Basically, that's when the process of creating the software itself gets compromised, infecting the final product before you ever even download it.
This timeline really shows you just how quickly things can go bad. It all started in early November when the developer's computer got hit. By the middle of the month, that malware was being automatically injected into the new app files. And then, those infected versions were released on the official GitHub page. The problem wasn't even caught until late November, which left a pretty big window of exposure for anyone who updated their app.
Okay, let's get specific. We know for a fact, thanks to malware scanners, that version 30.43 was definitely infected. If you installed this particular version, your device was exposed, period.
And yep, same goes for version 30.47. But honestly, don't get too hung up on these specific numbers. The developer's advice is super clear on this. If you installed or updated the app at any point during that critical time in November, you should just assume your device was compromised. Better safe than sorry.
So, that brings us to the million-dollar question for anyone affected by this. What can this malware actually do? What's the real damage we're looking at for your devices and your accounts?
Well, here's the tricky part. The honest answer is, we don't know everything it can do just yet. The security world is still analyzing it. And because of all that uncertainty, the absolute best thing to do, the safest approach, is to be cautious and just assume a worst-case scenario.
Now, let's break down what we do know. The good news is that SmartTube has pretty minimal permissions. It doesn't ask for your main Google password, so your core account credentials, those should be safe. The risk, however, is that the malware could have gained control of your YouTube account, and we just don't know what other kind of access it might have had on the device itself.
Okay, let's shift gears and get to the most important part of this whole thing, the actual steps you need to take right now to get your accounts and your devices secure again.
Please follow these 4 steps in this exact order. First, check your Google permissions and your YouTube history for anything weird. That's a good start. Next, you have to uninstall the app. That's non-negotiable. But finally, a full factory reset is the only way to be 100% certain that the malware is completely gone, especially if you did that install or update back in November.
So once you've secured everything, you might be wondering if it's even safe to reinstall the app. The answer is yes, but, and this is a big but, only if you do it the right way. Here's what the developer has done to fix this whole mess. This right here is the key to moving forward. The infected computer has been completely wiped clean. And, crucially, all the new releases are being signed with a new digital signature. You can think of that like a digital seal of authenticity. It proves the app you're installing is the real deal and hasn't been tampered with.
So the first confirmed clean release is version 30.56. This is the one you want. It was built on the secure machine with that new digital signature. Just make sure you only install this version or, of course, a newer one.
And here's exactly how you can get it. The developer gave us specific codes for the downloader app to make sure you get the right file. Use 28544 for the stable release and 79015 for the beta. For now, these are the only official safe ways to get the app.
Okay, one last important question that a lot of people have. What about my old settings backups? If you have a backup file from one of the infected versions, is it actually safe to restore?
And the answer is yes, they are totally safe. Your backup file is just a simple text file. It's not a program, it can't run any malicious code, so you can absolutely restore it on the clean version of the app without any risk at all.
So what's the big takeaway here?
This whole incident is a pretty powerful reminder that even when you trust a developer completely, the software supply chain itself can be the weakest link. It leaves us with a really critical question. If even the official source can get compromised, how do we really stay vigilant?